Okay, let's go to a new guy here, Bob, and he says, "Hey, it's not burnout; it's the Profar effect."
Well, I said this right after the trade deadline, after the Padres got the six-pack of relievers together. I thought Mike Schilt came out of character. I mean, he had a regimen how the relievers were used, and it was dominant. And then he started messing around. All of a sudden, Jason Adam is pitching in the sixth inning. Suarez came in one game in the seventh inning. And I thought, well, why are we doing this? What, you love Mason Miller? Okay, let him be your closer Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then just structure Suarez and the other guys and Morion on Friday, Monday, Sunday, whatever. And instead, it was a mishmash. And then the other factor after the deadline, then came the discussion, okay, where are we going to put all these bats? Now we got too many bats. We didn't have enough bats before. And who's hot, who's not, who's playing, who should be at first base, who's a DH? Do we platoon? All of a sudden, nothing seemed to be coordinated nor right. It was like Schilt was looking for answers over the final month and a half of the season. And here we are with the Padres having lost 11 of their last 16 games, including a bunch to really bad teams. I mean, they don't, nothing seems to fit. And I'm concerned about the burnout factor. I mean, Machado just looks terrible. And Tatis had a really, really bad spell. They don't look like they're ready for postseason. And last I check on your calendar, postseason starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah. You got to be concerned here. But my instinct is when the Padres made the trade to get Laureano, which was a perfect need, a perfect fit for left field. My bet is the Orioles said, "Hey, you got to take O'Hearn too." And then so now you got this extra guy.
Then it became 6 for 2. They traded the farm system.
Well, yeah. Preller was kind of in a desperate spot because he had huge holes at catcher and left field, and the team was sputtering, and they had to do something. And then the other comment about the pitchers. Yeah, in the beginning they said, okay, we got all these tools in the toolbox, all these high leverage guys, and there could be a high leverage moment in the sixth inning. That could happen. And when you got all those guys, you're not going to have Jason Adams every day for the seventh inning. Sometimes you're going to need him a little earlier, especially when the starters are only going 4 2/3. So it's been weird. It's almost like an embarrassment of riches trying to get all the puzzle pieces to fit.
But they haven't made it fit consistently nor perfectly. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
They had such a rhythm to the bullpen, and now to me it's all disjointed. And I'll throw this out too off the top of my head. The general manager, everybody praising him. He solved the catching problem. Now he created a pitching problem because they are so shy of starting pitchers they can trust because he traded Burgett and he traded Kolek to get Fermin.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have those guys back, but King looked good. Darvish in his last start looked okay. So there is let's say a silver lining to this if you want to be optimistic, glass half full. But yeah, I mean, you would love to have some more starting pitching depth right now because when you roll Vasquez out there, it's sort of like a seat of your pants. You don't know what's going to happen. And Dylan Cease the same way. And Dylan Cease will look great for 3 innings and then blow up 1 inning.
And I caution you in your enthusiasm and Padre fan enthusiasm too. You're not going to be playing the Rockies, the Pirates, or the White Sox in postseason the first week of October.
Yeah, but you might be playing the Mets, and the Mets aren't doing very well right now either. So you just showed all the teams that are in trouble. It's going to be a wild run to the finish here. And I think the playoffs start in the month of September, don't they?
Yes.
Like the 28th or something like that. So, yeah, we're getting close.
Bob, thanks for joining us. Hope you'll tell all your friends who we are, what we do Mondays and Thursdays at 1:30. Become a regular. Let's move on. Next one.
Okay, there's some good morning messages here from Mike. Good morning, gents. Happy to be with you all today. And then Angel says, breakfast with Hacksaw and Riley presented by Coco's. And then Angel, his question here is, I like the idea of Ohtani closing. Win-win. Dodgers get a closer they could trust and gives Ohtani practice for next season.
I think the burning question, though, is how do you do that? And you can only use him one time. I mean, you're not going to ask Ohtani to be a closer 2 days in a row. And how does it impact, his mental preparation to be your designated hitter and then the mental preparation to be a pitcher? Those are two separate entities, but they're almost like full-time jobs. Unless you're telling Ohtani, here's the ball, just go out and throw 100 for this ninth inning, and that's it. But you can only use him one time. You can't have him throwing days after days.
Is he still struggling hitting when he pitches on the same day?
Yes.
Interesting.
Now, but he started to get hot recently. He and Mookie Betts all of a sudden started to hit.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I just think logistically, I can see chaos, but if anyone could do it, it's him.
Yeah.
He'd be able to pull it off. But yeah, it's just so fascinating. All these different storylines going into the playoffs.
Yep. I agree with you. So this bears watching. They did have a meeting on Wednesday. First time they've discussed it, and it has been confirmed. Okay. Angel, thanks for being with us. Next one.
Okay. Let's go to new guy, Edgar. The Padres find a way to lose every game. They will not make the playoffs.
Well, you got the thing jammed into reverse gear, but Swami says Padres will be in first place by Sunday night. That's because they're playing the Rockies. But Swami says the Dodgers will probably be in first place by the middle of next week because the Padres have to go to New York to play an angry Mets team, which is still fighting for its life.
Well, the Padres are 3 games back now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to be unless the Dodgers go in the tank, it's just nuts. I mean, I'm watching the game last night. I was so discouraged. I mean,
it's typical of what was seen for the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, it's like the Team USA. You get excited and then you get disappointed, and then you're excited again, and then you're disappointed again. So you just wonder when the playoffs happen, are they going to be riding high or are they going to be going down low?
You want to say something mean here, or just tell you what I think? Padres were 14-3 out of the gate. Since that time, they're 63-64.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Dodgers are something sort of like that too.
The Dodgers are still in first place, though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and the Dodgers are starting, as we said, the Dodgers, all their players are coming back. They're getting healthy. The cavalry has arrived.
Padre fans have supported this thing. And am I the only one that is worried about this? They're a sub-500 team since the 14-3 start, and you're treating them like they're a World Series team. Is it me or is it you?
We expect so much. I mean, we're starved for a championship. And when you've got Machado and Tatis and all these other stars, you expect to be a competitive team.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God Tatis hit a home run. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah.
And there was a great catch in right field. But our stars are not playing to the level that they should be. And they're making Machado's making $30 million a year.
Yep.
I mean, come on, dude, hit at least over the Mendoza line.
It's hitting 198 since August 1st.
That ain't cutting it.
It's got 3 home runs in 37 games.
He was so hot, like in June and July. I mean, he was like near the top of the list on batting average, OPS. I mean, I thought he was in position to maybe contend for another MVP.
I hope they don't break our heart.
It could happen.
I think they'll be in postseason. But the way this roster is constructed right now, they'll be one and done.
That could happen. But again, like you said, the Mets, the Cubs, they're all having problems.
There's some glitches. I concur with
Milwaukee's coming back down to earth. I mean, the Dodgers are sputtering like the Padres. I mean.
And what have I said over the 3 years you and I have been together yelling at each other on this podcast? The Padres' window to get to the World Series is right here, right now. Didn't do it last year. Should have. Look even lesser of a potential they could do it this year. Time's running out.
Have we heard any updates on Xander Bogaerts?
He's been cleared to do a little bit of baseball activity, but I don't. He's got a fracture, and that's a slow healing thing. And then he's got to do baseball stuff and get back into that regimen.
I heard he was going to be in a boot for a while, but he was hopeful to be healthy to be in the playoffs because it wasn't that bad.
They did X-rays, but that can you get him ready in 2 weeks? I mean, what they cleared him to do yesterday, that's very limited. That's not even baseball activity. That's like you can jog a little bit in the outfield, but you can't plant and you can't do all the things you need to do, play shortstop. So we're wishing and hoping that's a week from today. I think we'll have a better feel as to how close he is. But then, I mean, it's only 1 week left in the season at that point.
I like Cronenworth at short, and then you get a Rise at second, O'Hearn at first, and suddenly the batting order kind of fits.
If they hit.
Yeah. Okay.
Edgar, it's great to have you with us. You come bail us out anytime in Fans Forum. John, move on.
Moving on. Let's go to our friend Steve. Herbert just needs to play clean football, and I see the Chargers winning by 10 points.
Oh, I think they're going to beat the Raiders up. With apologies to the silver and black. They just don't have enough players on defense. I love their defensive front. That's going to be fun to watch Max Crosby try to get in Justin Herbert's face. But the back seven, to me, is weak, and they had injuries last week. They've already lost a starting linebacker. I just think the Chargers are going to go up and down the field. Now, can Geno Smith throw for 362 again? Yeah, I guess he can. That's going to be fascinating. But the Chargers have way too much firepower, I think, for the Raiders to try to make it a throwing contest along the way. Zach, good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, Zach usually likes to talk hockey with us. So it's good to see Steve Zach Botsford. So good to see Steve there for us. Let's keep moving on, and let's go down the list here to our friend Casey. And he says, guys, you think the Miami Dolphins could be the first team probably that fires their coach, right?
Tell you what, the rumor everywhere is that McDaniels is not going to survive the next couple of weeks. And Tua played really poorly. Former teammate criticized Tua this past week. Now they got this mess with Tyreek Hill. They got injuries. You can't keep the young running back Artane on the field. I don't like their defense at all. I think this thing is going to implode. And it's kind of hard to believe that you would fire a coach 3 or 4 weeks into the season. It has happened in the past, but they're in big trouble down there. When we did our hot spots in our preview last week, I thought Miami was in big trouble. I thought New Orleans was in big trouble. I don't know if Indy's coach is in big trouble, but those are some of the hot points around the league.
How did Mike McDaniel become an NFL head coach? I mean,
offensive coordinator, hot guy at the right time, right situation.
But he looks like an analytics nerd, not like an athlete.
He probably is.
Yeah. So,
and he had Tua. But they designed the offense around Tua, but Tua got hurt, but then Tua came back. And when Tua came back, he played really well, but they don't have the same roster around him. And Tyreek is not Tyreek.
I was just going to say, don't worry about it. Tyreek Hill is there. He's going to save the day.
Tyreek might be in jail.
I want to get back to Mercury Morris, Larry Zonka, Jim Kick, Paul Warfield,
Bob Greasy.
Yeah, those were the days, man.
Speak about living in the past like Raider fan. Jeez, that goes back. That goes a few third downs ago, too.
That's early 70s. That's the undefeated season. Those guys still get together and have that celebration when the last team loses a game.
Yeah, and they still have the bottle of champagne that's never been opened.
How many of those guys are still alive?
I'd say probably half of them.
Yeah.
The Garo Premium group. I think he's the one that throws the party.
Perfect. He's the guy that, remember that botched field goal with Gary or Premium?
Running around, throw it with his left hand. His helmet was sideways.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining us in Miami. Casey, you'll be with us anytime.
Okay, let's go to our friend Lenny from Vegas. He goes, hey, Chargers are looking better than I thought. Padres look like they have no motivation. Can't wait for my Vegas Golden Knights to start the season. I love you guys.
Well, spread the word. Tell everybody who we are Mondays and Thursdays. The Padres look burned out. And I just think that Mike Schultz haven't, I'm not going to say he's made mistakes, but he's looking for answers when he had a team that was doing very well. And now he can't get the momentum back. The fact that they played so poorly against so many bad teams recently when they were supposed to make their hay and make the drive to first place, it just absolutely stuns me. And now we're 2 weeks out and you can't trust 2/3 of the starting rotation. I'd really be worried about that. You know, I'm going to beat you down with all my observations.
Yeah,
you sound like you're beaten.
No, but it's just the emotional roller coaster with the Padres is very.
It wears you out.
It does wear you out. Now, here's a crazy sidebar question.
Oh, coming from you, I understand it.
What's your take on all of this problems with the pitch comm? Have you noticed that?
There's some mechanical flaws, but it's everywhere in baseball.
But it's weird. I mean, it's like that should be something that they should be able to figure out. You know, it's a short distance. You know, I don't know, maybe they have to have some security so they can't be hacked by the other team or something. But sometimes I wonder if the pitcher catchers use the excuse of a pitch comm problem just so they can have an extra mound visit.
No, pitchers don't want their rhythm disturbed. Pivetta he's so bloody intense.
He was angry.
Oh, and things don't go right.
Mm-hmm.
See the steam coming out of his ears. I thought all the years I covered the Padres and the Dodgers and baseball, the most intense guy I ever had to deal with was Kevin Brown. I mean, he had a stare that he would look at you and it'd go right through your shirt out the back door. But I mean, I got along okay with him, but he was just a hard ass to deal with. Pavetta's the same thing. And pitchers just don't like their rhythm to be distorted. They are so laser focused in. And he had that problem with the pitch count. I thought he was going to take his cap and the machinery and throw it on the ground and stomp on it. But the alternative is, okay, it doesn't work. No freaking big deal. Tell the catcher, Diaz, give me the sign. 1 is a fastball, 2's a slider, 3's a curve.
Right.
Just give me the sign. Let me pitch. Instead of, oh, we got to have the dugout and the bat boy's got to bring the new pitch come out. Got to make sure it works. And I don't want to be standing in the batter's box so that the batter hears what I'm going to say. God. I mean, technology is great, I guess. But in this case, if it doesn't work, no bloody problem. Just do this.
Yeah. Just do that. You ever see like when they show the shot in the dugout and like the bat boys hustling back there and they have like a suitcase with all the devices, which is good, but it's almost like the football guy that travels with the president with all the nuclear codes. They got to carry this briefcase around with them with all the pitch comm stuff. It just blows me away that it's that difficult. I mean, because our cell phones work so great. I mean, why can't
maybe yours do. Why are you talking about your cell phone? John lives in this castle on this hill in a gated community. And I swear to God, sometimes I can't call him on a cell phone when he's in the other room.
Well, because we're in a dead spot. You have to connect to our Wi-Fi and really get a call. But it's only, 60 feet, 6 inches? I mean, how can they not have wireless communication work?
But, pitcher's hat falls off, pitcher steps on the hat. I mean, you could damage you.
Well, okay. But come on.
At the end of the day. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Throw the pitch. Okay. Hey, Lenny, you took us off center, but John's off center most of the time, so that's okay.
Okay, let's go to our friend XX Revolution. Actually has a comment, more than just a bonjour. So hello, XX Revolution. Hey, TELUS takes Rogers to court here in Canada due to Rogers blocking their sponsorship ads since TELUS is the Calgary Flames sponsorship, but on Sportsnet, which is owned by Rogers. You following that?
A little bit, but that's a little bit off my radar because that's Canadian broadcasting rules and regs, which are really different from this side of the border crossing. And I put that topic on the table. So the 251 people who follow us on the old Canada network, they'll pay attention to it. But the large proponent of our people, we have like 8,500 subscribers now just on YouTube. So we can't really cover all that because it's beyond the scope of what's important in terms of the bigger stories. But it is, I concur with you, it is a problem. Rogers is high powered. I mean, they own everything north of the border with the exception of Parliament. So, I mean, they are the big media player there. So it is an issue north of the border.
Well, Rogers is like
Rogers Communication.
Yeah, so they're like a Cox Communications or they're like a cable TV kind of a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But don't they also own the Blue Jays?
Well, they own everything. Yeah.
I know it's the Rogers Center where they play ball in Toronto.
They own the Blue Jays, the Maple Leafs, the Raptors. They own it all, plus the building.
So that was the connection with Kawhi and why he wanted to get the deals with the other teams.
That's right.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you still look at Kawhi like he's an innocent bystander.
No, Kawhi is just trying to work the system. Kawhi can do no wrong in my book. I love that guy. And his buddy, you remember his buddy Castleberry?
Yeah.
He used to always hang out with him at San Diego State. He's still like his wingman, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
XX, great to hear from you. You stay with us. We'll cover some more topics that you like.
Okay, let's go to Caesar. New name here. Love seeing new names. Hey, Raiders fan checking in. I believe we'll have our best season in years, 8-9.
Well, I was really optimistic. And I mean, Pete Carroll's resume speaks for itself. It takes time, though, to build the roster. And I was optimistic, but all of a sudden in free agency, they really got dinged. I mean, they lost their back seven. They lost a whole bunch of linebacking that I thought had played very well. The Robert Spillanes of the world. Then they started losing guys in the secondary. And they were important guys off the street, and that they're in the starting lineup. And some of these guys don't come with great reputations. So it's just going to take some time, I think, for them to build a roster. And I was shocked that they ate the contract and they released, and how bitter the divorce was with the Christian Wilkins, because I really thought that big body defensive tackle with Kuntz and with Max Crosby and the other guys was going to be just a big difference maker up front. And then they all got hurt, and then Wilkins got released. So it's just not, they don't have enough players on the defensive side. I think offensively, they're going to be so much fun to watch. I mean, if it winds up being a 39-38 Monday night game with the Chargers, that'll be really big TV. I just don't know that the Raiders have enough firepower to stop all the things that Justin Herbert's got going down the field.
I'm so happy the Raiders are like better,
Well, they're It's one game into the season here.
Yeah, but still, they got Pete Carroll, they got Geno Smith, Ashton Genty. There's a lot to be, it's interesting. It's a lot different vibe with the Raiders. So as a Raider fan growing up, I'm excited to see this, but it is kind of funny to see Raider Nation celebrating a season where you're still one game under 500, which is where it may end up, but at least it's progress.
Well, the Raiders won in New England, so they're one game over
right now. But if they finish 8-9, they'd be one game under. Okay. So I'm of the opinion that on Monday night, I'm rooting for the Raiders. Yeah, I want to see the Raiders have a showing, and the game's in Vegas, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, here
Monday
we go.
Night Football. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, the sidebar question: do you own a white jumpsuit?
Is that like Al Davis?
Back of the closet?
Yeah. Well, I loaned it out to Tom Brady. He was wearing it earlier this, during the preseason.
Okay. Hey, Raider fans, stay with us. Hope you become a regular. Tell your friends what we're doing on this podcast. John, couple more here.
Here's another good friend of ours, Callan. This is a story I haven't heard about. Good afternoon. Morning, gents. Did Luis Suarez get enough for his spitting antics against Seattle?
He's talking MLS soccer.
Oh, this is soccer. Okay.
Suarez spit on a Inter Miami player, got a 6-game suspension. Oh, no. Suarez spit on a Seattle Sounder player, got a 6-game suspension without pay. That's pretty harsh.
Yeah. I mean, you got to come down on that sort of thing. Yep. I mean, that's like the ultimate insult. I mean, it's the talk about sportsmanship. I mean, that's
no class.
Yeah, no class.
And a lot of that junk happens a lot. Pro soccer, they've got, you talk about sportsmanship, lack of, I mean, it is everywhere. And it's player to player, whether that's got to do with spitting on somebody, whether it's got to do with a shot to the groin, whether that's got to do with saying something disparaging, homosexual slurs, and then obviously the fans are involved in that too. It's just a real different culture of some soccer fans of what they think they have a right to do since they got a ticket.
The whole world's going to hell, man. What's going on right now? Oh, my God. Okay, let's go here to Neil. Here's a two-parter. Number one, hey, morning zoo show today?
Oh, yeah, coffee and donuts with the dummies.
Okay, and he says here, can't warm up in the pen if he's on base in the prior half inning.
That's a big issue. I concur with you wholeheartedly, the mechanics of that. But that might, that would happen hardly ever. But my bigger concern is, how many pitches does he need to throw to get ready? And you can only use him probably one time in 3 days or 4 days as a closer, just because of ultimate concern about the number of pitches he throws. And to get ready as a closer, max velocity in that bullpen, and you're coming out for that one inning, but then you can't do it the next day or the day after. So it's a pretty complicated equation, I think, for the Dodgers to discuss. And they got all these other relievers right now that you just can't trust.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that bullpen is just disaster right now.
Can you imagine if the Dodgers don't get out of the first round and there are no Yankees and no Mets?
Well, especially after the offseason where we thought the Dodgers had this whole thing wrapped up. The system was rigged for the Dodgers, and now they're sputtering a bit. But, even back in the day which really wasn't that long ago, when the pitchers could hit, they still didn't have this kind of a problem, where if the pitcher was running the bases, they didn't have to go back to the bullpen and warm up. They would just go rest in the dugout and then come out the next inning. So this is a whole new logistical dynamic if Ohtani pitches.
Yeah. Big debate. We'll see what happens in the next 2 weeks. We may wake up next Thursday and the Dodgers, all their relievers have found it. But then again, we might wake up and they still might have ERAs of 4.21 to 4.75.
Okay, here's two different guys, but they're both related to the Philadelphia Eagles. Teamer says, hey, fly Eagles fly. And then Ed Junk says, do you think the Rams are so focused on the Eagles next week, they may not have be prepared for this week versus Houston?
Well, the Rams are really complete. And the Rams right now with Matthew Stafford standing and fairly healthy, they look really, really good. It's just going to be an enormous challenge week by week to make sure that Stafford does not physically fall apart. That becomes a big, big issue. And the Eagles got a bunch of guys dinged. And I thought they were a little bit wafer thin in the offensive line. They just made a deal to get this heavy-duty running back from Jacksonville. I mean, you never see trades the first week of the season, but the Eagles traded 2 draft picks to Jacksonville for one of their running backs, Tank Bigsby, who had almost 800 yards rushing last season, and he's heavy duty.
That's a great name.
Yeah, so they got the Tank to go with Saquon Barkley. They look pretty good to me.
Eagles, man. I should say the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's what they say, the Eagles. They're loaded. I mean, they got to be the favorite to go back and win it all again. But yeah, Tank Bigsby. I mean, that just sounds like a comic strip, superhero.
You got that?
Okay, let's go to our friends in social media because there's a lot going on over there. And let's start here in the AFC West. And this is from 619 Dano. He goes, "Look here, you senile old man."
Wait a minute. Don't refer to John like that. That's really unfair. John created this podcast.
Okay, so I've got number 1 Chargers, number 2 Chiefs, number 3 Broncos, number 4 Ray Turds. You need to get off that rock pipe, Lee. You still mad about getting fired as a Chargers radio broadcaster?
Dono, I wish I had all your facts. That never happened, so I'm not even going to address your stupidity. I think there's a change in the guard. I think Kansas City's roster is different. It's no longer what the Chiefs were. Mahomes is still bleeping brilliant, but he doesn't have the people around him. I was stunned at how poorly they played and some of the things that Spagnuolo did not do defensively. So I just don't think Kansas City is a complete team any longer and not as dangerous. The quarterback is still amazing. But in terms of the Chargers, they have arrived, I think, offensively. The question is, we've got still 16 weeks of football to play. There are going to be some teams that are going to run the ball down their throat. Are their defensive tackles going to get better and better? Because there are going to be some tougher teams that they're going to come up against. They're going to pound the football. So there's still questions with the Chargers, but that was a great start. And by the way, don't refer to John as a senile old man. God, bloody insult.
He's talking about you.
I love the people who get on social media, and we're talking sports, right? And so Dono can't match his intellect with my career and my intellect, so he insults me personally. What do you gain from that? It makes you look like a schmuck. I'm going to do what I'm going to do because I'm good at what I'm doing. Thank you for being with us. Totally disagree with you insulting John Riley, but that's your prerogative.
Yeah, look at you deflecting. Okay, so in the world of the NFL, I don't know if I'm biased on this because, we live in the world of Chargers and Raiders and Chiefs and Broncos, but it seems like the AFC West has been one of the more, competitive and entertaining divisions in the history of the NFL. And I might put the NFC East in that camp. There's been times when that's been just a crazy dominant division.
Well, that's because Parcells was there, and then you got Dallas and the greatness that Dallas used to be.
And then the Redskins had that run with Joe Gibbs.
That's right. And then obviously Philadelphia has now become the modern day power. But I don't know that you can say forever and ever that it was just NFC East or AFC West, but that changes.
But it seems like a lot of other divisions, there's like one great team and a lot of just sort of blah teams, where those two divisions and now the NFC North, there's a lot of really good teams in there where you could see maybe 2 or even crazy talk 3 wild cards coming out of the division.
Yeah, but 3 years ago, you couldn't say that about the NFC North, unless you're just talking about Lombardi and the Packers.
Right.
But I mean, 3 years ago, Detroit was horrid. It'd been horrid for a long time. Chicago's never had a 4,000-yard passer ever in the history of the NFL, going back to George Halas. So, the NFC North has not been the epitome of greatness.
Right. Well, but right now they are.
Well,
yeah.
In the last 15 minutes, yes.
15 minutes, exactly. But here, the Chargers number 1, you're already writing the Chiefs off. You're saying it's the end of an era and it's only one game. You're the first one to always say it's only one game.
That's true. But I just have followed Kansas City for an extended period. They had all those close games they won last year. A bunch of them they probably shouldn't have won, but they won because of the greatness of Mahomes. And now I look at this roster looks less to me now than it did last year. And I thought they were really hanging on for dear life. And they got to the Super Bowl, credit to them, but then they got their brains blown out. Why? Because they were deficient. They look more deficient from a roster standpoint now. And the dark horse is Denver. Let's just see what Denver becomes in the second year with Bo Nix, and Sean Payton's added things to him. And that defense in Denver is really, really good.
Well, let's talk about Denver here. There's another comment, and this is from Trevin. He goes, "Why is everyone riding Denver's jock? They're overrated," because you predicted they'd be number 2 in the AFC West.
Yeah, I just think they're really, really close. And last year it was Bo Nix learning on the job with virtually not a lot of people around him. And now they've gone in, they're a year older in that system, and they went out and they got themselves more running backs and they got a pass catching tight end. And Sean Payton has gotten through to Cortland Sutton about what it means to be a star and how to be a star. I just think there's a lot of unique things that have changed offensively with the Denver Broncos, and their defense. They've stocked that thing with draft picks and the right free agent acquisitions. They're pretty good. Now injuries change everything, but at the end of the day, just on paper, I think Denver's made great strides in 2 years under Sean Payton.
Remember when the Broncos traded for Russell Wilson, and they gave up a ton for him? You're like, what in the hell are you doing? And they were paying him a huge money.
And then they took the $45 million cap hit to get rid of him.
Yeah. So when Sean Payton was first there, it didn't seem like everything was synchronized.
Well, he walked in, had to inherit this, and said, no, this is not going to work. And then they made the commitment they took Bo Nix far beyond earlier than most people would have taken Bo Nix. But he developed that kid quarterback was really good and didn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give it up to Sean Payton. He knows what he's doing.
History.
Yeah. But at first I was a little worried it was all going to go to hell in a handbasket. Hey, did you see they're building a new stadium in Denver?
Yep.
And it's all privately funded, which is cool.
Burnham Yards, a big industrial area. It's going to be a dome. But I think the financing's in place. They have now purchased this industrial plot called Burnham Yards, and it's going to open in 2031.
Wow. It's just amazing, these dates we're throwing around. But are you a fan of, I like my NFL in the mud and the rain, and I want to see dirty uniforms? Or do you think it's at a point now where, we want to attract fans, we want to have it a pleasurable fan experience, and I like the dome even in Denver with the snow?
I like the elements myself, but that's old school. At the end of the day, what's the bottom line? It's all about your money. I want your money. Your money, my skybox. Your money in my new stadium. Your money buying my merch.
But see, it's not. See, you always go to this greed angle. Yeah,
you're the economic dude.
But right, but the Broncos, what they're doing is say, yeah, we want your money, but in exchange for that, we're going to give you this great football team, and you're going to get this wonderful experience. You're going to have really nice drinks and food, and you're going to bring your family and your business partners, and we're going to make a day for you.
Oh, I love the new facilities.
So it's win-win. It's win-win. It's not greed.
No, but at a cost.
Of course. But, the Denver is putting a product out on the field to entertain their fans. So it's win-win.
I love to see the new facilities, et cetera. And this is coming from somebody who was a voice of the Chargers and spent 9 hours on the rooftop at RFK Stadium in a blizzard in an open press box doing a Charger-Washington Redskin game. And the whole broadcast team nearly died. We got so sick because we were outdoors in the cold and snow and all that. So I like the new facilities. But I do have a touch of nostalgia for where we were and different places we've been. And we froze our ass off in Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and nearly died on the roof in Cleveland and in Washington.
We nearly died, but it was great. Okay, let's keep trucking here. Talk some Dodger ball. This is with Rolo. He says, can you say Tanner Scott poison? Conforto comes up every clutch situation only to choke. So, yeah, I believe it.
Well, Scott pitched pretty effectively in Miami, though when he was with the Marlins, he had a history of walking people. Now, he got here, and that did not happen. And I think Ruben Niebla refined his mechanics. I mean, he was lights out, and he started lights out with the Dodgers. But I was always concerned. He was pitching all the time. I was really concerned about overuse. And then he got hurt. Then he came back, and he couldn't locate his pitches, and then he was leaving stuff out over the middle, and he's given up 10 home runs in like 45 innings, which is a ridiculous amount for a guy that's supposed to be a closer. So his stuff right now is not what his stuff was. And I don't know whether it's mechanics, location, or whether the injury factors into it, but they paid him a lot, $73 million. They paid him a lot of money to be the guy. And right now he's not the guy, and Kopech is not the guy, and Yates is no longer the guy. And Trinan is trying to stay healthy and could be the guy, but you never know from outing to outing. They've got 5 relievers who are all in trouble right now. And that's why this meeting took place about Ohtani maybe being a closer only in postseason.
I hate to wish unwell wishes on Dodgers and Dodger Nation, but for so long, the Dodgers were just so perfect. They had everything going for them. They had Mookie Betts, who was not only a great player, but a great character. They got Ohtani, Freddie Freeman. Everybody loves Freddie. Clayton Kershaw, longtime, Hall of Famer. And now they're facing adversity.
But they faced adversity last year. We talked extensively about all the shoulders and the elbow surgeries. And
right, but it never caught up. It never caught up to them to the point that they would fall out of the playoffs or lose the World Series. They ended up winning it all.
Are you Are you pulling a hate card right now?
And I'm just saying that we go through so much misery here in San Diego that it's nice to see
Somebody
that-
else.
Yeah. And actually, here's another comment that's very similar. And this is when you were talking about the Padres and if Schilt needs to worry about the problems. And No Meal says, these videos always make me feel a little better when the Dodgers stink it up. So, if you're a Dodger fan, you see the Padres stinking it up, they don't feel so bad.
It's hard to believe that both these teams, and we talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago, both these teams were playing the misfits on the schedule, and they both screwed it up. I mean, they kept losing to the bad teams in baseball. How is that possible, aside from injury or maybe fatigue? I mean, it is stunning that either one of these teams could have grabbed this National League West by the throat and said, see ya, and won all these games. And instead, the Padres are 5-11. And the Dodgers are like 11-15 over this last 3 to 4 weeks. How's that possible?
Well, it happens. I mean, what was it? The Phillies, like in the '60s, had that monumental collapse.
Oh yeah,
and then,
I think it was 1964. They were up by 13 games in the pennant race in August and lost it.
Yeah,
Gene Mauch was the manager, but that was they just had no pitching. They ran out of pitching. I think they had 2 starters left. Jim Bunning and Chris Short, and there was nobody else because everybody had been hurt.
We're talking sports 60 years ago. This is great. But even the Padres in 2010, remember they had that great run and then went to hell in a handbasket. That's when I think Matt Holliday didn't touch home plate.
Still hasn't touched
home plate. But there's been a lot of epic collapses in the world of sports, and are we going through another one? Or the Padres or Dodgers going to be on the outside looking in on the playoffs?
No, I think the Padres and Dodgers will be in postseason play, but will they be totally healthy? And will they be one and done? Interesting. You talk about collapses. I just thought about this as you were yelling at me. A group of years ago, guy just went in the Hall of Fame, Ichiro Suzuki. Remember Seattle had the 116-win season?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they got in the postseason play and see ya. They were gone.
Yeah, that happens too. That's like the Chargers 14-2, Marlon McCree. It's just sports is so unpredictable.
Boy, you're just so much sour stuff today.
Well, I grow up with this stuff and it's depressing.
Your psyche is just bothering me.
Okay, let's keep on trucking here. Now, there's a couple of San Diego State comments here. Let's start here with an Aztec for lifer. This is from Womp Rat. He goes, a lot of Aztec alumni don't live in or near San Diego and can't go to the games, but we pay for broadcast service to watch all of their games. You saying these Aztec for life don't have a right to criticize what's being put on the field, the stupidity of play calling and year-over-year weak tackling is an ignorant statement.
Okay, wait a minute. Time out here. My critique of Aztec for life fans, they don't support the team by coming to games. How can you have a Division I program that your sales pitch in the world will go into the Pac-12 and draw 13,300 for your first home game? At the end of last season, they drew just a shade over 10,000 who came into the stadium. That's not Division I football. And your sales pitching me Aztec for life, but you don't support it in person. Now, it's great. You're out of town, you subscribe. That's phenomenal. You have every right to be critical. I concur. But by the same token, understand, this program under Rocky Long and Brady Hoke was a combined 106 and 48 over a decade. That's really good football. And Sean Lewis has come in a different era. Cupboard was bare, lost all of his players, and lost them again because of the transfer portal. So I'm willing to give him more space to try to get this thing up and running because he does have that on his track record and his resume. He has succeeded a lot of other places. But I have a right to critique. The Alumni Association sends me an email. Lee, they must watch this. We have 150,000 alumni here. Aztecs for life. I said, no, they're not at the football stadium, not supporting the program at all. Come on now. But you have a right to critique the product on the field and the mistakes the athletic department has made. But where are the fans in terms of support in the stadium to support the kids? I was stunned. There's been a lot of barking about the cost to go to games, and they priced it terribly. But you can buy a season ticket for $200 and a small donation to the Aztec Club. For $200, an Aztec for lifer, why don't you just make the contribution? If you want to come sit in the upper deck watch the night games, enjoy it, but you got to support it too. That's where my critique has come from about the no-shows. That's the thing that burns me no end. Okay, John, your turn.
Well, they show up at Viejas, and there is a small loyal group that show up for football games. But yeah, the criticism is all over the map. Let me get one more San Diego State one in here. This is a little bit long, but I want to read it to you because it's good. And this is from T-Mac, and he says, San Diego State has been tone deaf for a few years. There was a lot of excitement for Sean Lewis, but after such a bad season and ignoring other potential players in favor of developing a freshman quarterback, I lost interest. J.D. Wicker tried to blame the fans for not supporting season tickets. They tack on a big stadium, big stadium or club fee for each ticket.
Right.
I am already paying a lot for NIL and basketball season tickets because Brian Dutcher is winning in his DNA and has established that in the basketball program, but as Rocky Long was doing in football, or just as Rocky Long was doing in football.
It's complex, but at the end of the day, it's your program. Support it. Give it some ground to stand on, and then give it some space and see if Sean can fix this. Hopefully a year from today, we're doing this podcast, we'll be talking about a much better product on the football field, but I can't sit here silent and say everything's great just because you're an Aztec fan. Not when you're drawing 13,300 in a Division I program. It's got the support in the stadium for the kids has to be better. It's a quality institution. I mean, they graduate 92% of their players, which is
that's amazing.
It's their APR numbers is just upper echelon and phenomenal. So that's what I think, and I wouldn't be doing honestly good job if I didn't tell you what I thought. Okay, we have had fun. Coffee and donuts with the dummies. Hope you've enjoyed this. We appreciate you being here early.